What's up, Cowboys Nation? Before we dive into this breaking story, do me a favor real quick. Smash that like button. This team is in full-on refinement mode, and we're here to give you every inside scoop, every chess move, and every storyline that could define the 2025 season. The Cowboys are clearly not just coasting, they're adjusting, strategizing, and building towards something big, and we've got a major update today involving a possible Amari Cooper return, some clever locker room tactics involving Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons, and what it all means for this team's chemistry and identity. So hit that like, make sure you're subscribed, and let's unpack this headline-making story. Yep, you heard that right. Amari Cooper could be coming back to Dallas. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, there's mutual interest between the Cowboys and Cooper about a potential reunion in 2025. That's right, the guy who lit it up. In a star on his helmet from 2018 through 2021 might be on his way back to the star. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, wait a minute, didn't we move on from Amari 2 years ago? You're not wrong. Cooper was traded to the Cleveland Browns in 2022 in what many still consider a cap-cutting mistake. He gave the Browns 2 solid years and ended last season with the Buffalo Bills, where he played a limited role but still contributed in the playoffs. Here's the deal. He's a free agent again, and at age 30, he may not command a top-tier deal. That opens the door for Dallas to sneak in and make something work. But there's a catch. Fowler dropped the intel during an appearance on SportsCenter, and here's the quote that has Cowboys Nation buzzing. The Cowboys do need an extra wide receiver coming out of the draft. They did not take one. I'm told there was at least some mutual interest between Amari Cooper and the Cowboys, having some sort of reunion. Now, the Cowboys don't want to spend big here. Cooper's made nearly $140 million in his career. He's probably not eager to take a low deal. They'd have to work something out. But this might be good for both sides to come back together and run it back. Let's break that down. Dallas didn't draft a receiver Cooper might want. A reunion, but he's not likely to sign a bargain deal. That's the tension. The Cowboys have made it clear they're not looking to spend big. But with Michael Gallup now gone, Brandon Cooks aging, and CeeDee Lamb drawing every double team. In the book, you can see why Cooper is being considered. Let's not forget, Cooper was Dak Prescott's go-to guy when things were clicking. The chemistry between them was real, the trust built over reps and games and comebacks. From 2018 to 2021, Amari Cooper gave Dallas 292 catches, 3,993 yards, 27 touchdowns, and countless clutch moments. In fact, in 2020, he posted a career high, 92 receptions, even while the offense dealt with injuries and instability at quarterback. He wasn't just a big name, he produced. And maybe more importantly, he kept defenses honest, he created space, and he made CeeDee Lamb's transition to the NFL much smoother. Here's where things get tricky. Cooper had just 44 catches for 547 yards and 4 touchdowns last season between the Browns and Bills. That's a steep drop-off. He's entering year 11 in the league, and he's made over $140 million in his career. So he might not be willing to take a hometown discount just for nostalgia's sake. Then there's the salary cap. Dallas isn't exactly swimming in free money. Between contracts for Dak, Parsons, and now Lamb on the horizon, it's hard to see how they pull off a big-dollar signing unless Cooper dramatically lowers his price. But that's where the mutual interest comes into play. If both sides want to win, maybe, just maybe, a deal gets done. Now, while we're talking about chemistry and leadership, let's switch gears to head coach Brian Schottenheimer, who's already making some fascinating moves behind the scenes. 1. Of the most interesting developments, he paired Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons' lockers together. Yeah, you heard that right. Offense meets defense. Quarterback meets pass rusher. And it's all by design. Here's what Schottenheimer said about it. 2 of our best players, put them together. There are also other things we're doing in there where guys are competing every day, and different things that we've kind of put in there, but they can challenge each other in a good way. This is intentional leadership building. Micah and Dak are the 2 faces of the franchise. One runs the offense, the other terrorizes opposing quarterbacks. And now they'll be side by side every day, building rapport, challenging each other, and setting the tone for the rest of the locker room. Look, Moving lockers around doesn't win championships, but the culture inside the building, that absolutely does. If you're a Cowboys fan, you know how often this team has been divided: offense versus defense, blame games after losses, and lack of unity in critical moments. What Schottenheimer is doing here is foundational. He's saying, our leaders are united, our locker room is one. It's especially important now because both guys are under pressure. Prescott's playing for a new contract, maybe his last in Dallas. Parsons just signed a massive deal and expectations are sky high. If they're locked in together, physically and mentally, this team will go as far as they take it. So let's take a step back. You've got a front office exploring a potential reunion with Amari Cooper, signaling urgency and a win-now mindset. A head coach in Schottenheimer already innovating ways to build culture and leadership from day one, and a locker room that's slowly being reshaped into something tougher, more connected, and more focused. Whether or not the Cooper deal gets done, the intention is there: improve chemistry, increase depth, and give Dak the weapons he needs. Because let's be real, Dallas is running out of excuses. The window is open, but it won't stay that way forever. When the 2025 NFL Draft reached the 5th round, some fans were wondering whether Dallas had done enough to address its struggling backfield. We were 27th in total rushing yards last year. Dead last, the 32nd in rushing touchdowns. That's not just bad. It's unacceptable for a team with championship ambitions. Enter Jaden Blue. The Cowboys scooped up the former Texas Longhorns running back with pick number 168 overall, and while the reaction was cautiously optimistic at first, it's quickly turned into something more: excitement. Even nationally, NFL analysts are buzzing about this move. Gennaro Felice from NFL Network didn't just compliment Blue, he compared him to Devin Akane, the Miami Dolphins speedster who lit up defenses last year. According to Mock Draftable, Blue and Akane have an 88.7% similarity score and athletic profile. Let that sink in: speed, agility, and versatility. Exactly. What Dallas needed, you want to know why this matters? Because Blue brings exactly what Dallas lacked in 2024: speed, elusiveness, and the ability to stretch the field from the backfield. He clocked a blazing 4.38 40-yard dash, instantly putting him among the fastest backs in the league. But this isn't just about track speed, it's about game speed, and Blue has it. He's that slasher type who can turn a routine checkdown into a 30-yard explosion play. The Cowboys have CeeDee Lamb, yes, Brandon Cooks is still dangerous, and Jake Ferguson is growing, but this offense needed a backfield receiver, someone who could mismatch linebackers and give Dak that safety valve with juice. That's exactly what Jaden Blue brings. A draft steal in the making. Now here's where it gets crazy. And NFL Network draft expert Lance Zierlein had Blue graded as a 3rd-round talent, but he slipped to the 5th round, largely because of usage and rotation at Texas. Zierlein pointed out that Blue had to fight for carries in a loaded Longhorns backfield. He didn't have the volume some others had, but the flashes were there, big time. Just check the numbers. 98 total yards, 14 total touchdowns, and elite speed and hands that kept scouts watching. Zierlein described him as a narrow-hipped linear runner with good speed to threaten wide and attack downfield out of the backfield, adequate wiggle in the open field but lacks base strength to break tackles. In other words, he's not your between-the-tackles bruiser, but he's the kind of guy who hits the edge and disappears. That's exactly what Dallas needed: a change of pace back with receiving chops. A perfect fit for Brian Schottenheimer's system. Let's not forget, the Cowboys didn't just change running backs, they changed head coaches. Brian Schottenheimer, now stepping into the lead role after 2 years as offensive coordinator, has a very clear identity he wants to build. Physicality, yes, but also balance and versatility. He wants guys who can keep defenses guessing, and here's the beauty of it: Blue might be exactly the kind of player Schottenheimer knows how to use. During his days in Seattle, Schottenheimer helped mold a backfield rotation with change of pace. Weapons like Travis Homer and J.D. McKissick, they weren't workhorse runners, they were mismatch creators, and they helped keep that offense moving. Imagine a playbook with motion, option routes, and screens where Blue can be flexed out wide, or used in creative RPO looks. Dak has always excelled when he has a back who can catch and go. Remember what he looked like with peak Tony Pollard? Now imagine that speed, only faster. The underdog mentality. Another reason to love this pick, Jaden Blue has something to prove. He wasn't the top dog in college. He was recruited as a star but had to wait his turn, share touches, and battle for snaps. That hunger, that chip on his shoulder, that's the exact mentality that fifth-round picks bring to training camp. Blue already visited with the Steelers and Eagles before the draft, two franchises that value toughness and playmaking. But they passed. Dallas didn't. And now he's not just trying to make the team, he's aiming to become Dak Prescott's go-to. Spark plug out of the backfield. What this means for the Cowboys offense. Let's think big picture here. You've got CeeDee Lamb, a legitimate WR1 who's only getting better. Brandon Cooks still has elite deep speed and veteran savvy. Jake Ferguson is emerging as a high-end tight end option. And now, a guy like Jaden Blue who can attack from underneath, get matched up on a linebacker and turn a short pass into a back-breaking play. Suddenly, the offense looks diverse, explosive, and adaptable. Something it hasn't truly been since the days of DeMarco Murray and Dez Bryant playing together. And let's be real. The backfield needed a shake-up look. We love what Tony Pollard brought to the team in his prime. But in 2024, the juice just wasn't there. The burst, gone. The vision, inconsistent. The production, flat out not enough. That's why the Cowboys finished 7th in total rushing yards, dead last in rushing touchdowns. That's not a playoff caliber stat line, let alone a Super Bowl one. And while Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, and even Hunter Luepke have had moments, none of them brought the home run threat this offense desperately needed. Blue does. A new era for Dak? Let's talk Dak for a moment. This is a pivotal year. Maybe his last in a Cowboys uniform, or maybe the year he finally puts it all together. And what every great quarterback needs in a contract year is a weapon he can trust to make plays when the pocket collapses and the read breaks down. Jaden Blue has a chance to be that guy. He's fast, he's hungry, and he can catch. That's what you need when the game's on the line and you need 6 yards on 3rd and 5. If this works out the way it looks on paper, we could be looking back and saying, that 5th-round pick, that was the moment the offense. So now, let's turn it over to you, the heart of this fan base. Should the Cowboys bring back Amari Cooper? Is it worth the money and the risk? Do you like the move to pair Parsons and Prescott together? Can that kind of chemistry be a game changer? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I want to hear from every single one of you. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update as this off-season heats up. We're going to keep breaking it all down with facts, context, and insight that true fans crave. This is your team, your home, and your moment to be part of the journey. Let's run it back, or build something even better. Go, Cowboys!